So number 7 says the equation of the line equals y, and they have it rearranged for you. Look at that. They have it rearranged for you. Write down the equation of a line in the form y equals mx plus c, that is parallel to A, right, and that is perpendicular to L. Listen, I didn't do that because you don't need to. But what's the slope of this line? What's the slope of this line? 3. What's the slope of a parallel line? 3. And what's the slope of a perpendicular line? Minus 1 over 3, isn't it? Oh, you turn it, remember it's 3 over 1, turn it upside down, change the sign. That'll do me. You don't need to answer what they asked you there, okay? If you know that information, that's fine. Next one is number 8. So number 8, investigate if the line y equals 2/3 x plus 4 and the other line 2x minus 3y minus 5 equals 0. And they want to know, are they parallel? What do we know about parallel lines? They have the same slope. So what's the slope of this line? It's done for me. 2/3. It's the number in front of x, which I forgot to write down. So it's the number in front of the x, isn't that right? Okay, this one I have a bit of work to do because I have to rearrange it so that y equals everything else. So we'll leave the minus 3y, bring the 2x over the line, it becomes a minus 2x. Bring the minus 5 over the line, it becomes a plus 5. What I do now, divide everything by minus 3. There's a minus 3 stuck to the y, so I need to get rid of it. So divide everything by minus 3. They cancel. You get y is equal to a minus divided by a minus is a plus, isn't it? And it's 2/3 x. And plus divided by a minus is minus 5 over 3. You don't even have to fix that because we don't need that information. What's the slope of this line? 2/3. And the question was, are they parallel? The answer is yes. Why? Because they've got the same slope. Is that okay? So don't forget to answer the question. The question was, are they parallel? So if you just wrote m is 2/3, m is 2/3, you haven't answered the question. You've done all the hard work, but you haven't answered the question. So make sure you answer the question. Is that right? Okay. Next one was 9. So number 9. Right. Match the equations below to give 4 pairs of parallel lines. So I'll start with A. Right. So A is a line y equals a half x plus 1. What's the slope of A? What's the slope of line A? It's all done for you. It's a half, isn't it? It's a number in front of x. Slope of line B is y equals 1/3 x plus 5. What's the slope of that line? A third, right? C is y equals minus 3/4 x plus 3. X plus 3. What's the slope of that line? Minus 3/4, isn't it? Okay. Slope of D. D is y equals x over 2 minus 1. Now, all they've done is, girls, they haven't written the fraction in front. So what fraction is with the x there?
1.
No, there's a 1 on top and there's a 2 in the bottom, isn't there?
Yeah.
So what fraction? What's the slope? It's actually a half, isn't it? Okay, that's D. E is y equals, oh, they're playing with you here, 9 plus a half x. Why are they playing with you here? Because the slope is the number in front of x. So it's not the first number, it's the number in front of x. So they messed with your head here because they put the x term second, didn't they, and the number first. Okay, didn't they? But they didn't fool you because the slope of that line is half. Right? Okay, so they're messing with your heads there. Okay, I hope it didn't work. Right? Next one is F. So f is the line y equals x over 3 minus 2. Again, what number is in front of the x there? 1 over 3. So the slope of that line is 1/3, isn't it? Okay. Next one is g, and it's y equals, what's that? I can't read it. 1/5 x plus 3. 1/5 x plus 3. So what's the slope of that line? 1/5. So g has a slope of 1/5. And then h, I'm running out of space. H is, where's h? Y equals 4/3 x plus 2. So what's the slope of that line? 4/3. And then the last one, I'll just move it up a small bit. Actually, I'll just do it. Right. Finally, the last one is I. So I equals y equals 1 minus 3/4 x. They messed with our head again here. What's the slope of this line? Minus 3/4. Okay. So they're kind of tempting you to put 1, but remember it's the number in front of x. Right? Okay. Then it says write down all the pairs of parallel lines. Right, so this one, A has a slope of a half, hasn't it? So A has a half, D has a half, E is a half, and that's it, isn't it? Okay, is it? A, D, E, they're all parallel. Right. B, is there any other thirds? There is B and F, yeah? Right, B and F are parallel, aren't they? Right, okay. Minus 3/4 and I, yeah. So C and I. Right. I've had D and E there. Right, okay. F, G, H. Right, that's it. Isn't it? They're your pairs of parallel lines. Is that alright? Match the equations to give 4 pairs of parallel lines. Okay, why have I only got, I haven't got 4 pairs. Did I write something down wrong? I think I did I? A half x, yeah. A third, yeah. Minus 3/4. Yeah, this one, that's actually a 5, isn't it? I knew I wrote something down wrong there. So that's 1/5 is the slope of that line. Okay, so D is not in there. So it's A and D, B and I, C and B and, I can't read my, B and F, C and I, and G and G. Right, is that okay? Sorry about that. Right, are we good? Yeah. Okay, that's that number. Which equation is the odd one out? The odd one out is H, because it's got no parallel line. Agreed? Yeah. Right. Do you get that? Yeah. Good. There's a lot of information in that, like a lot of stuff you need to know to get that. Okay? Right. Finally, I gave you number 11. Isn't that right? Okay. So there's 3 lines. Y equals 2x plus 5. Y equals x plus 5. And y equals x minus 2. Agreed? Okay. Now, I can, because they're rearranged for me and they've a lot of the hard work done for me, right, I can get 2 pieces of information off this here. The slope of this is what? What's the slope of that line? 2. What's the y-intercept? 0.5. What's the slope of this line? 1. What's the y-intercept? 0.5 again, isn't it? Right. What's the slope of this line? 1. And what's the y-intercept? 0 minus 2. So this line goes through 0.5. This line also goes through 0.5, but it's not as steep, sure it's not? Right, and this line goes through 0 minus 2. So you use that information to work out, so you look at the picture of the lines, okay? Sorry, I'm trying to get it all in. It's hard, but Okay, there's my 3 lines there, yeah? Okay, right, there's actually 4 lines. Okay, so they threw in P, oh, they have one there in the middle, they don't care about it, the black line. So it's P, Q and R you're looking for, right? Okay, so R, this one is different. Look at this one, this goes through 0, -2. So which line there, blue, red or green, or P, Q or R goes through 0, -2? 0, -2 is across 0 down to -2. So which one is the last line? This would be Q, wouldn't it? I know there's no numbers, but it's 0 and a negative number, isn't it? Okay, whereas the other ones are across 0 up to 5, yeah? Okay, but we know the slopes, right? We know the slope of the first one. We know this is steeper. How do I know this line is steeper than line 1 is steeper than line 2? How do I know that? It's got a bigger slope, hasn't it? So it's got a bigger slope, so this one is steeper. So both P and R go through 0, 5, but which one is steeper? Which hill would be harder to climb? R, so that's the steeper ones, that must be P. Do you see how I work that out? Okay, so write down all the information you can get first, and then see can you match the information to the picture. Is that okay? Right. Next section is parallel and perpendicular lines, okay? And it's pretty, we've done all the information. There's no new information in the next section, right? We have all the information from before, it's just putting it together, okay? So I'm going parallel and perpendicular lines. This is for your notes, a couple of examples. Right, okay. Fine, so example 1. So I'm going straight to an example because we've no new information here. We're using the information we learned in the last 2 or 3 sections, right, to complete these examples, okay? So find the equation of a line.
Excuse me, please, would Emily Gilhini and Warda Abbasi come to reception at the bell, please? Victor 4 will be selling candy canes in support of Tina's charity. You can buy a candy cane or send it to your friend. It will cost 50 cents. And a reminder that the TY Jump Future Group are asking for CDs that you don't need anymore to be used in their design. There's a labelled box outside reception for you to leave them in. Thank you.
I'd find the equation of the line through the point -2, 3, which is parallel to this line, the line x minus yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. It's a bit weird, isn't it? That's better, is it? Yeah, which is parallel to the line 2x minus y plus 5 equals 0. Okay, right, now we're looking for the equation of a line, right? So the formula to get the equation is y minus y1. So you go off to your log tables and you say, oh look, there's a keyword, equation of a line. So off you go to your log tables and you write down the formula to get the equation of a line. And then you look at that and you say, what do I need? What do I need to fill out that formula? I need what? I need 1 point. I need 1 point, don't I? And I need something else. I need to fill in for x1, y1, and I need to fill in for m. What does m stand for? Slope. So I need a point and a slope to fill out that, okay? Because that's what they want me to do. They want me to fill out that, but in order to fill out that, I have a point, I need a point and a line. Do I have a point? Yeah, so I have the point. The point is minus 2, 3. Do I have a slope? No. Right, so I need to find the slope before I fill that out. Agreed? Okay, so how do I find the slope? They haven't given me 2 points, so I can't use the slope formula. Remember before, if they gave me 2 points, I'd just fill in the slope formula, yeah? Okay, so I can't do that, right? So they've given me information there where I can get the slope. They told me it's parallel to the line, to this other line. So this is a different line, not the line I'm looking for, but I know the line I'm looking for is parallel to this line. Agreed? Right. So what do I know about parallel lines? They have the same slope, don't they? So if I get the slope of that line, right, I now have the slope of my new line. It'll be the same as my slope of my new line, won't I? Right. How do I get the slope of that line? So I need to get this, so I need to get the slope of, and it's the section we've just done. How do I get the slope of that line? Anyone? Please? Anyone? Someone? Please say you were... Remember? Look. What do I do? Look. There's an equation and I was able to get the slope. What do I do? How do I get the slope? Rearrange it so I have y equal to everything else. Agreed? Okay. So I'm going to take that line there and I'm going to rearrange it so I have y equal to everything else. Okay, so I'm going to take this line, rearrange so y equals everything else. First line. What's first line read? No, it doesn't read y, it reads minus y, thank you, equals minus 2x minus 5. Now, the rule is it has to be y equal to, not minus y. So how'll I fix that? Divide by minus 1, or just what? Just change all the signs, yeah? You can do anything to an equation has an equal sign. You can do anything as long as you do it to the whole line. So I'm just going to change all the signs. So you get y is equal to 2x plus 5. Okay, right, the reason I did this is because I want to find the slope of this line. Why? Because it's the same as the slope of my new line. Okay, what's the slope of this line? The slope of this line is 2. So what's the slope of my new line? 2, because they're parallel. They told me they're parallel, and I know parallel lines have the same slope. So if I have the slope of this line, I have the slope of my new line. So my new line, it goes through the point minus 2, 3. It's also got a slope of 2. I'll move it up now. Right, okay, can I move it up? Have I cut anyone off? Right, so my new line goes through this point. It's also got a slope of 2. Because they didn't tell me it had a slope of 2, but they told me it was parallel to this line. And I know that parallel lines have the same slope. So you go y minus y1 equals m into x minus x1. That's the formula in the book for getting the equation, or in the log tables for getting the equation of the line. So you call this x1, y1, and you fill in for x1, y1 and slope. Isn't that right? So you get y minus 3 equals 2 into x minus 2. Okay, so y minus y1 is 3, m is slope, so that's 2, x minus 2. So I ended up with 2 minuses in a row. Does everyone understand why? Yeah. The first minus came from the formula, the second minus is part of x1. But 2 minuses in a row actually means a plus. So I get y minus 3 equals 2x plus 4. And remember these ones, I want x term, y term equals number, yeah? So build my wall, I want to bring the 2x over and put it first, it becomes minus 2x. The y is here already, so it stays as a plus y, right? The 4 is here already, and the minus 3 comes over this way and becomes a plus 3. Agreed? So here's my answer, minus 2x plus y, equals 7. So the question was, find the equation of a line, and there's my answer. There's the equation of the line. Okay, yes?
Where did you get 2x plus 4?
2x plus 4, I multiplied into the bracket. 2 by x is 2x, 2 by 2 is 4. Is that right?
Yeah.
Any more questions for me? Ask them if you don't understand how I went from one line to another. Right? So, there's a lot, it's like the last 3 sections that we've done in the book are kind of rolled into one here. Because it's all about parallel lines, that you need to know parallel lines have the same slope. You need to know how to get, when you're given the equation, how to get the slope. And then you need to know how to get the equation of a new line. Okay, so there's like 3 sections rolled into one. But there's nothing new here, as in we've done all those 3 sections, we're just putting them all together now. Right, okay. Example 2 is next. Is that down? Yeah, okay, so because I'm going to cheat. And I'm just going to find the equation of the line, this time, which is perpendicular that says perpendicular to the line. Right, okay, let's find an example so I can copy and find the slope, find the equation of the line. Y equals 2x plus, it goes through the point, give me a sec, to P, through, I'll make it up, minus 2, 1, and which is perpendicular to the line y equals 2x plus 5. Okay, so I have to figure out what they're looking for. So the question is, find the equation of a line, right? Okay, so off I go to my log tables and I say, I'm looking to fill in this formula. That's what the question says, find the equation of a line. So there's the formula I'm looking to fill in. So in order to fill in this formula, I need a point, which they tell me was minus 2, 1, right? Okay, and then I also need a slope to fill out that formula. Eventually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fill out that formula. So in order to fill out the formula, I need x1, y1, which is a point, which I have, and then I also need a slope, right? So I need a point and the slope. I haven't a clue what the slope is, they haven't told me. But they have given me a way to find it, okay? So the way to find it is, right, okay, they told me it's perpendicular to this line. So I take this line, y equals 2x plus 5. And they have a lot of the work done for me there. Straight away I can get the slope of that line. What's the slope of that line? 2. Is that the line I'm looking for though? No. The line I'm looking for is actually perpendicular to that. How do you get the slope of a perpendicular line? You turn it upside down and change the sign. So remember 2 is actually 2 over 1, isn't it? So the slope of a perpendicular line, upside down t, is a shortcut of writing perpendicular, right? So I don't like writing words, so that means perpendicular. If you don't know it, write it in brackets after it or something. So the slope of this line is 2 over 1. The slope of any perpendicular line is what? Minus 1 over 2, isn't it? That's a plus, it changes to a minus. That's 2 over 1, it changes to 1 over 2. So the slope of a perpendicular line, turn it upside down, change the sign. Okay, back to my problem. So my problem was get the equation of the line. Okay, and I said I had a point. So my point was minus 1, 2. So I'm calling this x1, y1. I didn't have a slope, but I got it. I got the slope of a different line and then turned it upside down and changed the sign because they said it was perpendicular. So the slope of my new line is minus a half. So I just fill in. So it's y minus 1 equals minus a half into x minus and then minus 2. Okay, 2 minuses in a row will give me a plus. Now, does anyone remember what you do with the fraction? How do you figure out the fraction? Remember what? Does anyone remember? What do I take? What do I bring up at this side? The bottom, which is a 2, isn't it? Right. So it's 2 bracket y minus 1 equals minus 1 into bracket x plus 2. Okay, so the minus either goes with the 1 or the 2, your choice. I left it with the 1, okay, as long as you don't put it with both, right? Okay, so then multiply in, you get 2y minus 2 equals minus 1x, and then a minus by a plus is a minus 1 by 2 is 2. So I want x, y equals number, so build my wall. Minus 1x comes over and becomes a plus 1x, doesn't it? Which is just, yeah, sorry. So that's the equals with the wall built on it, okay? So minus 1x comes over and becomes plus 1x. So plus 1x is just x by itself, isn't it? Right, then I have the y term, which is plus 2y. And I want my numbers over here. So minus 2 is here already. And minus 2 comes over, that minus 2 comes over and becomes a plus 2, doesn't it? So x plus 2y equals minus 2 plus 2 gives me 0. That's my answer. Is that right? Okay, so again, they didn't give me the slope, but they gave me information to find it. And that's always the way, right? So you have to figure out, I was looking for the equation, so I need a point and a slope. So how do I get the point? They give it to me. How do I get the slope? They tell me about a different line, but they tell me it's perpendicular. Okay? Right, is it lunchtime because you're all packing up, are you? Or have I more time? I have 3 whole minutes. Will we have an early lunch? We will. Okay.